What is going on, YouTube? It is All Things Mets, where your latest Mets media, everything about the Mets on this channel. Guys, we are live to talk some Mets baseball, guys. We got the Mets, we got the Yankees, Subway Series, big, huge series for the New York Mets, guys. We got the lineups, we got a lot to talk about. Definitely when it comes to this game, these games, the Subway Series, these are huge, huge games for the New York Mets and honestly for the Yankees too, with them losing games and that type of stuff. So the Mets guys are gonna be facing the Yankees. First pitch is 7:05, guys. I can't wait for this game. So we'll see what happens, but definitely the Mets had a late flight, guys. They didn't get to New York City to 5:15 a.m. Yes, 5:15 a.m. So that's literally crazy. But man, how's everybody feeling today? Hopefully you guys are feeling good, man. We got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about, man. Um, just getting started with this lineup, guys. We got Lindor in the first spot, Nimmo, JD Martinez, Alonso, Vientos, McNeil. McNeil's really been heating up lately. He's been hitting the ball, so that is good for the Mets. And man, I hope everybody's feeling good. Hopefully you guys are feeling good. Let me know how you guys are feeling, man, because the Mets versus the Yankees, the Subway Series, this is a huge, huge series for the New York Mets. The Mets have to win these games. They're definitely in this wild card race, so they got to win games. And when it comes to, going against the Yankees, it's always exciting. The Subway Series is always exciting, and I love it. I love to see the energy. I love to see the Battle of New York. I love to see the fan bases go at it. Like, the Mets and Yankees. Yes, we saw what happened in the last Subway Series, part one, and that was the Mets sweeping them. And they faced Luis Gill, they faced Garrett Cole, and they still beat them. So these games are more important now because the Mets are actually in the wild card race. And that is what makes it really interesting. Sorry about that, guys. Little technical difficulties there. That's what I'm saying, guys. This is really important, guys. This series, the Subway Series, this is huge for the New York Mets, and I hope that we see some energy. We know that I don't know if you guys know, but 5:15, what happened with the New York Mets. They didn't get to New York City from Miami. They didn't get to New York City to 5:15 a.m. That is literally crazy, guys. Crazy. But let's get into the Yankees lineup, guys. The Yankees lineup, you got Jameer Jones, an outfielder. You got Soto, right fielder. You got Aaron Judge, Soto. Those are the guys that you have to make sure that you do not pitch to them. You know what I'm saying? So don't give them nothing to hit. And then you got JD Davis. It makes sense why JD Davis is in this lineup because you're facing a lefty. Quintana's a lefty, so I get why, Aaron Boone is stacking up the righties against Quintana. It makes sense. You got Volpe in the fifth spot. Good to see. Torres, Verdugo, Narvaez. That's not Omar Narvaez, guys. That's Carlos Narvaez, a rookie, that just has been called up recently, and I think he got his major league hit the other day. So, and you got DJ LeMahieu who hit a home run yesterday. I actually was at Yankee Stadium yesterday, and I saw DJ LeMahieu hit a home run. I saw Austin Wells hit a home run. And, that was cool and all. I just went with my brother. It was a good time that the Yankees actually won. So, but this game is huge for the Mets, guys. This is a big series for the New York Mets. And I'm going to get it started here. We got to talk about this. What the Mets need to do, don't let Judge beat you. You don't let Judge and Soto beat you. Those are the two guys you cannot let beat you. And when it comes to Luis Severino's comments the other day about the Yankees really only having two good hitters, that is because it's Soto and Judge. They don't have nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Ben Rice is not even in this lineup. Austin Wells is not in this lineup. This is not a really good lineup when it comes to the Yankees. And what's going on, Darren? How you doing, man? How you doing? How you feeling? I like Terrence defensively, his bat, but Quintana, and his bat. But Quintana has pitched well. Alvarez catches him. Oh, that is a good point you just made there. That's a great point. And when it comes to Quintana and Alvarez, yes, they've cashed. I know exactly what you're saying because we saw the ERA, with Alvarez, and we saw the ERA with other guys. And when it comes, what is going on, Sonic? How you feeling? How you feeling, man? At the end of the day, we saw the ERA, for Alvarez with Quintana. Quintana is lower. It's lower when he has Alvarez there. But when there's another pitcher, his ERA goes up. So, yes, that is a great point that you brought up when it comes to Alvarez and Quintana and the connection. Because, I know that Alvarez is struggling and maybe he was tired from the flight. But I personally feel that, I like Terrence and I trust him. I trust Terrence. I know he's a good catcher. And maybe people are more comfortable, like Quintana, with Alvarez. But maybe he just couldn't go today. Maybe Alvarez just wanted to sit, or maybe he's tired from the flight, or maybe he's just struggling and, Mendoza wants to give him a little day off. I don't know. But he went 0 for 5 yesterday. We got to talk about it because Francisco Alvarez, he went 0 for 5 yesterday, didn't get no hits. He struck out 3 times. It wasn't a good showing by Francisco Alvarez. And Francisco Alvarez, he's been struggling. He hasn't hit a home run in like 50-something at-bats. So when it comes to Francisco Alvarez, I love him so much. He is a big part of the New York Mets and our future and our present as well. But we gotta face the facts that he's been struggling, And I'm sure he's gonna start the game tomorrow. But I don't have no problem with the Mendoza. I trust whatever Mendoza is doing. If he wants to give him a day off, let him be. What's going on? You said doing all right. Motivated more than ever. Beautiful. Let me see what he said. Oh, Aaron Judge can tell it to the. Yeah, Aaron Judge, man. Don't let him beat you. If you're Quintana, don't let him beat you. Don't let Soto beat you. Don't let Judge beat you. Those are the guys you cannot let beat you. And you just got to be smart. We saw how the Mets handled, Soto and Judge in the last series against them, and they didn't really pitch against them. Yes, Reed Garrett made a dumb pitch and allowed a grand slam like an idiot, but to be honest, they didn't really pitch to Aaron Judge a lot, and they didn't pitch to Soto a lot. And you look at this lineup. Let's really look back at this lineup, guys. Let's look at this lineup right here. You got Jones, you got Soto, you got Judge, JD Davis, Torres, Verdugo, Narvaez, LeMahieu. This is not the most exciting Yankee lineup that they can put out there. So, but I get why they put, JD Davis there. I get why they put Narvaez. I get, why they put these guys. And that's because you have a lefty on the mound. So you got to take advantage of that. But what I want to really talk about, guys, we gotta talk about Jeff McNeil, man. Jeff McNeil, how are you guys feeling about Jeff McNeil right now? Ever since he's, basically decided that he's not going to be a slap hitter anymore. He's just trying to get the barrel to the ball. He's been hitting. He's actually been hitting. 3 home runs in Miami. That was a huge series for Jeff McNeil. Yeah, I think it's still the same old squirrel. I get it. But when it comes to Jeff McNeil, if the Mets can get something from Jeff McNeil, some run support, some run production, I'll take it. I'm not the biggest fan of Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil, his attitude. I really don't like his attitude. He always has a problem with his swing. This guy just always has issues. But what I will say though, you Jeff McNeil hit 3 home runs in Miami. And I'm not saying he's a power hitter. I'm not saying that. But he hit 3 home runs. He hit 2 home runs in one game. There's something to be said about him changing his approach and actually trying to get the barrel to the ball. And that I like. I like that he's, basically getting away from this approach to being a slap hitter, because clearly it's not working out for him. Clearly it's not. Let me see. Alvarez recently has been too aggressive at the plate, not as patient at when he's. Yeah, that is a great point. I'm not gonna say I don't like Alvarez. I like him being aggressive. I do, but if he's gonna be swinging at bad pitches, that is something that I don't like. I don't like that he's swinging at bad pitches. I like Alvarez being aggressive, but when he's swinging at good pitches. And, I want Alvarez to be aggressive. I want him to hit bombs. I want him to show that power, but it's a tough one, man. It's tough. Let me see what you said here. Sonic, what's going on? Sonic said, "Did I listen to OMG by Jose Iglesias?" Yes, I did. It's a good song. It's catchy. Yeah, it brought some energy to this team, which is good. At the end of the day, energy, positivity, that's good. I like that for the New York Mets. Let's see what he said here. Lane, what's going on, Lane? Lane said, "How do I feel about the New York Mets right now?" I feel like the Mets, I'm gonna get into some news. Honestly, I'm gonna get into some news soon. But definitely, what I feel about the Mets right now is I like this lineup. If Alvarez is in the lineup, if Vientos is in the lineup, all these guys, JD Martinez, Alonso, Lindor, Nimmo, this is the best lineup to me. This is the best lineup since 2015. And we saw how far the Mets went in 2015. I'm not saying that the Mets are a playoff team, but I will say this is the most confidence I had in a lineup in some time, because the Mets finally have power. That is something that has been lacked for years when it comes to the Mets. We saw last year, guys, Daniel Vogelback as the DH. Man, come on, man. JD Martinez, I know he's struggling. I understand that, but I still like his bat. He's a big bat guy. I like him a lot. Let's see here. But I really want to get into let me see here. Definitely some yeah. Let's just keep talking about Jeff McNeil right now, because Jeff McNeil, it deserves to be talked about what he's doing. It deserves to be talked about because he's hitting the ball a lot. Can this provide a spark for the team? It can. Will it? I don't know. Honestly. What's going on, Steve? JD will be fine. Yeah, I know. No, I love JD, bro. JD is awesome. JD is what I love the signing, and I'm still very confident in JD Martinez. Very, very confident in him. But this lineup, I like this lineup. Now, definitely with the Mets taking a split in the Miami Marlins series, that wasn't what you wanted. You don't want that. You don't want that for the New York Mets. Obviously, you wanted them to win the series, but having a split with one of the worst teams in baseball, it wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look. Lane is saying, "Do I like DJ Stewart?" I feel personally that DJ Stewart, he gotta go. He got to go. He just hasn't he's had some good at bats, but this guy, he's not a really good outfielder. He just hasn't really been cutting it, as a pitch hitter. DJ Stewart can hit you one home run, every 2 months. But this guy, DJ Stewart, I'm not really confident in DJ Stewart going forward. And I know that David Stearns, he picked up Jackie Bradley Jr. Today. And that was a good little pickup for the New York Mets. I think Jackie Bradley Jr., he still is 34. He's 34 years old, but he can still field, he can still bat. And apparently he had an OPS with the Long Island Ducks of 1,204. So that was impressive. So if David Stearns sees something impressive with these guys, then I'll take it. I love David Stearns. I love the vision that he has, and I trust whatever David Stearns does. But man, it's been tough. It's been tough. With this lineup, just in general, it's just been tough. But I mean, we will see at the end of the day what the Mets end up doing. There's a lot of moves to be made. So at the end of the day, the Mets got to win games. The Mets got to win games. But what I really want to talk about, guys, is the news with Christian Scott. Um, this is horrible news, guys. I'm sure you guys have heard, but Christian Scott, has gone on the 15-day IL with a UCL sprain, guys. That is the precursor to Tommy John surgery, or to a Tommy John surgery. Like, this is a tough thing, and it really sucks for the kid. I hope he doesn't have to have a big surgery that, destroys his season. But this really sucks for the kid, guys. And it sucks for the Mets. It sucks for the pitching rotation. What I will say about Christian Scott is this guy is young. I don't feel personally that he was major league ready. I feel like he still has a lot of kinks to work out with his pitches. But I will say I like his demeanor. I like what he brings to the Mets. But this is an unfortunate news for the New York Mets, because a UCL sprain is serious. And this is tough. Yeah, you're right about that, Sonic. The trade deadline is coming up. David Stearns is going to have to make so many decisions on what he does with this team. There's a lot to be done with this team, but man, I don't know what, if I'm David Stearns, I don't know exactly what I do. I mean, I wouldn't buy high. I would not trade any big prospects. I just don't feel like this season is the season to trade, make major league trades, like major big trades like we did in 2015, and we brought all in. And we got Cespedes, we got Kelly Johnson, we got Juan Uribe, and we got Addison Reed, that type of stuff. Those were big pickups by the New York Mets, and it worked out. They went all the way to the World Series. Yes, they didn't win it, but they still got to the World Series. That is not easy to do at all. First, I heard of Christian Scott's injury. That might change Mets' plan. Yeah, this is a really unfortunate injury, man. I'm sorry to tell you about the news. I really am, because I like the kid a lot. I just feel personally that his breaking pitches, I'm just not confident in him, as a pitcher going, deep in games. I'm not confident in Christian Scott. I'm just not. He's been a little frustrating to watch, just because this guy doesn't know exactly, where his pitches are going. He allows a home run in almost every single start. Unfortunately, this is just facts. He allows a home run in almost every single start, and that is not that's not what you want when you're a pitcher, you know. So that's not a method of success right there. Let's see what you said here. I think they purposely put DJ to draw walks, raise the pitch count, and extend the inning pass. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, they want this guy DJ Stewart to be a OPS guy, a on base guy, and it's just been tough. It's been tough to watch DJ Stewart because I'm not confident in him. I'm not confident in him to get a big hit. He strikes out a lot. Also, he walks. It's not really productive, like he was being in the middle in the first half of the season, in the first start of the season. Obviously, when he got those big home runs, against the Braves, there was a big home run against the Braves. There was that hot dog game that he got a big home run. So there's been instances where he's gotten big home runs, but I'm just not confident in this guy. And I know that David Stearns is probably going to look for another option, an outfielder, some other option that isn't DJ Stewart, because he's not the best defensively and he's not a real outfielder. He's just not. DJ has more downside than upside. Yeah, DJ, it's tough because it sucks. It really sucks to say, but you're right. It's like I don't want to compare him to Daniel Vogelback. I really don't, but you know, they have similar builds, and yes, DJ Stewart is a little more athletic for sure. He's more athletic, but DJ Stewart, it's just not working out. It's just not working out with the New York Mets. It's just not. It's not anymore. Not anymore. He hasn't. Maybe it's the approach that he's taking. Maybe he's trying to draw more walks. He's not being more aggressive like he used to be. At this point, I want him to be a more aggressive hitter that hits home runs, obviously. But the Mets, I guess, want him to be an on base guy, and he's kind of been getting on base, but I don't have a lot of trust in him right now. But guys, let's talk about Jose Quintana, guys. What is your trust level in Jose Quintana right now? Yeah, no, it's just Quintana has been really shaky this season, He hasn't been that great. He's had some good starts, but it, I it's tough to say because obviously the big injury to Christian Scott, it puts more pressure on the rotation. It puts more pressure on Quintana, and David Stearns really doesn't have much options. Steve, you're right about that. It is a coin toss when it comes to these guys. I just feel Quintana, he's been really good. He's been really bad. He's been shaky. It's been all over. He hasn't been consistently, really good. But I don't know, man. I don't know what this guy. But this is a big start for Quintana. You're going against the New York Yankees. Maybe it's not the best lineup in the world for the Yankees, but you're still going against the New York Yankees. Any game against the New York Yankees is going to be huge. Any game. And this is, not an exception. This is a big game for the New York Mets. They got to win games. But I just don't know if I can trust Quintana. It's real shaky with him. It's real shaky. I don't know. This guy is just is frustrating, at times. He's frustrated. But I mean, let's talk about it. If you're David Stearns, what do you do? What do you do with this team? You got the trade deadline coming up. I just don't know what they do. I personally feel they need bullpen help. They need rotation help, and they need maybe an outfielder. They definitely need an outfielder. They need a lefty that can hit for power. That's an outfielder. And DJ Stewart is not the answer. He's not. DJ Stewart is not the answer. Rotation help. Of course, they need rotation help because of the Christian Scott injury. But even before the Christian Scott injury, they still needed rotation help. With Senga coming back Friday, that is huge for the Mets. If we can get a healthy Kodai Senga, and if we can get the Kodai Senga that we got, in his rookie year last year, then that is going to be huge, huge for the New York Mets. I personally feel there's a lot of decisions that David Stearns has to make. And then it's not just those big decisions. It's also, you have to think about the future. You have to think about the present. But you got to make sure. You got to make sure that you don't put the Mets back, future-wise. That you don't hurt the Mets' future. And I know that David Stearns is I trust whatever David Stearns does because I see the vision. I've seen him, I see him get guys like Harrison Bader, like a Tyrone Taylor, like a Luis Severino, like a Sean Manaea. These pickups by David Stearns, like a Luis Torrens, these pickups has been really, really good. So David Stearns is a guy that you can trust. He is a smart man when it comes to baseball. He's gotten the Milwaukee Brewers to the playoffs multiple times, and I think personally, this guy, David Stearns, I have a lot of trust in him. But what moves are they really going to make? What moves are realistically the Mets going to make? You're not going to make a big trade. I don't see that with this season. You're a wild card team at best, and maybe you could go on a run. Maybe you could go on a run and maybe you could get past the Braves. I don't know. But these games are huge coming up. Steve is saying, I like Budo and Nunez setting up Diaz. Oh, boy. I love Budo. And I love Nunez. And Diaz, setting up Diaz is perfect. Tonight, I feel personally that Edwin Diaz is going to be unavailable, guys. After you saw him, get a lot of, I think he pitched more than 24 pitches in yesterday's game. He's not going to be available tonight. So when it comes to the bullpen, I think Nunez is going to be your closer tonight. And we'll see at the end of the day how the Mets play out, how this Mets and Yankees play out. But this is tough, man. This is tough. But going back to this lineup, guys, let's get into the lineup for today's game, guys. We got Lindor, we got Nimmo, we got JD Martinez. Nimmo did not have a good series in the Miami Marlins. He did not have a good series in Miami, and hopefully he can pick it up. You got JD Martinez. JD Martinez is starting to come around a little bit. That is good news for the New York Mets because JD Martinez can carry this team. Alonso, with Pete Alonso, this guy has been really frustrating to watch at times because he's just not consistent. He's not consistent. He has 19 home runs right now. He's tied with Lindor for the home run lead. And then you got Vientos. Vientos has proven to be a really good power hitter for the New York Mets, guys. He's proven to be a dangerous hitter for the New York Mets. And I like Vientos in the 5th spot. You don't got Alvarez. It makes sense. You got Jeff McNeil, who's in the 6th spot. Jeff McNeil seems to be picking it up, guys. Ever since he's changed his approach. And I don't know if you guys know, but he did change his approach, guys. Rather than being a slap hitter, he's now just trying to get the barrel to the ball and whatever happens, happens. I like that approach. And then you got Torrens, You got Tyrone Taylor, who I think Tyrone Taylor is a really good outfielder. And then you got Bader. With Alonso, can you really trust him? Can you really trust Alonso right now? He's been a rally killer, for us for a little bit now. He's been grounding into double plays. I don't know, man. I don't know with Alonso. I'm not confident in Alonso to get a big hit. I'm not. He's not clutch. He's not. But this lineup, guys, I like this lineup. I have no problem with this lineup. Yes, Alvarez it would have been nice to see Alvarez in the lineup. But after an 0 for 5 day and maybe the plane ride, he's tired. It makes sense. Give him a day off. And I love Alvarez. I trust whatever, I know he loves the game. Alvarez is still, he's still young. We forget that he's only 22 years old. We forget that. I think a lot of people forget that he's only 22. It's crazy. He's only 22. Yeah, Steve. Pete Alonso, he's been a rally killer. He honestly has. He grounds into double plays. He strikes out. He pops up. He's not really productive. And he hasn't had that, that streaky, streak where he could hit bombs every single day, and Pete Alonso's a guy that can carry a team, but he's not doing it. He's not. I just haven't seen a really good Pete Alonso this season. I'm not happy with the way Pete Alonso has played this season. I'm not. He's not earning in my opinion, he's not earning an extension with the New York Mets for 8 years, for 10 years, for 8 years, 10 years, 200 million, 160 million. It's not, he's not earning it. He's not. He's just not. Alvarez is becoming a leader for the team. Yeah, Alvarez is definitely showing. I love his passion for the game. You got to appreciate Francisco Alvarez's passion. That is something that you can't teach. And I love it. I love the passion. 8 years and 10 years is way too much. And it's not going to happen. The Mets are not that dumb. They're not that dumb. Pete Alonso is at best a DH. He can't even throw to second base when he gets a ground ball. How can we trust this guy? How? I can't. I can't give this guy more than 7. I don't think that the Mets should give this guy more than 7 to 8 years. I don't see it. I really don't. But let's get into the Yankees lineup, guys. You got Jones, Jahmai Jones. It's a lefty. It makes sense. Mix it up. You got Soto. Do not let Soto beat you. Don't let Judge beat you. You got JD Davis. JD Davis is in there against the lefty. It makes sense. You got Volpe. Volpe is Volpe. Volpe really has been struggling. And, he had like a 290 average, and then that's gone all the way down to like a 250, I think, or 240 something. He had a home run in yesterday's game, which was good for him. But at the end of the day, Volpe, he's always a threat, though, with his speed. So you got to be careful with that. And then you got Gleyber Torres. Torres has not been good this season. He just hasn't. And then you got Verdugo. Verdugo has been struggling. Verdugo has been major struggling with the New York Yankees. And then you got, Narvaez. That is not Omar Narvaez, guys. That's not Omar Narvaez. That's Carlos Narvaez. He's a rookie. He had his major league hit the other day, his first major league hit, and good for him. And then you got DJ LeMahieu, who hit his first home run of the season yesterday. And I went to that game. But it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Just like, come on, DJ LeMahieu really hitting a home run. It was that's how you know the Yankees were gonna win that game. But yeah, guys, when it comes to the Mets, this is a huge, huge series for the New York Mets. This is huge. The Mets have to win this game. These are big, big games. But I got some really unfortunate news for you guys. The Mets didn't get to New York to 5:15 a.m. They didn't. From Miami, they didn't get to New York from 5 to 5:15, guys. So they had a late flight. I'm sure they're tired. And if they come out flat, we're going to know why. Yo, what's going on, Yuki? What is going on? How you feeling, bro? How you feeling? When it comes to the New York Mets, guys, this is a huge, huge series for the New York Mets. They got to win these games. Now you're in the wild card race. So you have to, you got to win games, and maybe you could put yourself in a better position, and maybe, just maybe, you can get past the Braves. I'm not saying that they will. But man, if you do get past the Braves in any way, that would be such an accomplishment for the New York Mets this season. We know that the division is not going to happen for the New York Mets. The Phillies are a really good team, and they are probably going to win the division, most likely. But yeah, man, Yankees can't hit lefties. I'm not scared. At this point, with this lineup, if the Yankees can't hit lefties, then that's good. That's good for the Mets, because they literally have lefties in both games coming up. And it's the same scenario. Quintana, going against, Luis Gil. And we saw the Mets, they got to Luis Gil last time. So, we'll see at the end of the day what happens. But this is a huge, huge series. You got to win games. You got to continue to put the pressure. Don't take the pedal off the gas. Do not. We got to keep it going, keep it rolling. Now we got Kodai Senga coming back Friday. There's positivity here, man. Positivity. But yeah, man, Phillies are too strong. Yeah, Phillies are very, very strong. Phillies have a really good team. Phillies have a really good rotation. Phillies have a really good bullpen. The Phillies are definitely the favorite right now to go to the playoffs, go to possibly the World Series. You're saying that the Braves are vulnerable. No, they are. They definitely are. They the Braves, with the Ozzy Albies injury, with the Max Fried injury, definitely are. This was a good point by you right here. Quintana does bad when Francisco Alvarez is not catching. That was a great point. Yeah, I know. Francisco Alvarez is not going to be catching this game, guys. I don't know exactly why. But he went 0 for 5 yesterday. He's been struggling. He's been, chasing pitches, and he hasn't looked like the Francisco Alvarez that we know. But we can't forget, this guy is only 22 years old. He's young. He has a lot to learn, and he had a thumb surgery. So it's tough. You can't expect this guy to be an all-star, Francisco Alvarez. Not yet. He's young. He's learning. He had a surgery, so there's a lot to learn for Francisco Alvarez. A lot. And he will. He'll get better. He'll be fine. I love the pickoff that he had, in yesterday's game. That was good to see. Yeah, Baltimore is still first in their division. Yeah, Baltimore is probably going to win the division. Baltimore is really really good, and I feel personally that Baltimore is better than the Yankees. But yeah, guys, how are we feeling about the squirrel? How are we feeling about Jeff McNeil right now? He hit 3 home runs in the Miami series. Ever since he's changed his approach to not be a slap hitter and just get the barrel on the ball, he's been hitting. I'm not saying Jeff McNeil is a really good power hitter. I'm not saying that at all. But he's been hitting lately. And if he can get hot, if Jeff McNeil can get hot, I'll take it. I'll take it. I am not the biggest fan of McNeil. I personally do not like his attitude. I don't like that he always changes his swing. But when it comes to Jeff McNeil, if he can hit, if he can get hot, maybe I'm sure that would be good for the team. Yuki is saying Harrison Bader is my pick for a astounding player. Okay, he hit 2 home runs versus the Yankees in June. That's a great point. Harrison Bader. I think Harrison Bader has been really, really, good this season. This guy Harrison Bader was such a good pickup by David Stearns. What he brings you in the outfield is something amazing. What he brings you in the outfield is something. I love it. I love it so much. He makes balls that look like that's going to be a hit, an easy out. I think Tyrone Taylor and Harrison Bader having them in the outfield is amazing because Tyrone Taylor has the best sprint speed on the team. And then you got Harrison Bader, who's a really, really good outfielder, the best center fielder that the Mets have had since Juan Lagares, maybe since Andy Chavez. Yeah, Steve, that is a good point. Squirrel making a Stearns decision difficult if he stays hot. I feel personally that Jeff McNeil, if he can be, a good hitter for this team, I'm sure the Mets would love it. But what does that do for his future with the New York Mets? I don't know. We got my boy. We got my boy Ronnie Mauricio coming back next year. I'm not going to forget about Mauricio. I will never forget about Ronnie Mauricio. As long as he's a Met, I will never forget about my boy Ronnie Mauricio because I want him to be the second baseman for this team next year. I want him to be the second baseman. I love what Ronnie Mauricio brings, his speed, his power, the fact that he's a switch hitter, and he plays pretty good defense as well. So I like Mauricio a lot. And with Jeff McNeil and his future next year, and you can't forget Acuna either. Acuna can't be forgotten either. So there's a lot of decisions that are going to be made next year for this team. And it's going to involve Jeff McNeil. No, Darren, that's a great point that you brought up. Yeah, he's no longer trying to be a slap hitter. He's just trying to get the barrel to the ball and hit the ball hard. And whatever happens, happens. I don't know what the hell took this guy so damn long to change his approach. It clearly hasn't been working all season. Now he's finally trying to change the approach. It hasn't been working all season. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Jeff McNeil, I don't like his attitude. I don't like that he always has a problem with his swing. With Jeff McNeil, I'm just not confident. I'm not confident in this guy right now. But the fact that he hit 3 home runs in Miami, that's not going to be sustainable. There's no way this guy, Jeff McNeil, is going to be out of nowhere a power hitter. But if he could be a gap to gap hitter, and if he can be productive for this team and add something to this lineup, I'll take it. I'll take it. Guys, let's talk about Christian Scott, guys. Christian Scott, guys, he went on the 15-day IL with a UCL strain, guys. This is really, really, really unfortunate news for the kid. He has not really pitched that good, in the majors. I don't feel that he was major league ready. There's a lot of stuff that he has to work out with his breaking pitches, but he has a good fastball. I like the arm angle. But there's a lot to be worked on with Christian Scott. And the fact that now he's going to be injured, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. It really sucks. It really sucks. But at least Senga's coming back Friday, and that's positive. That's positive. I want to get into this comment here by Steve because this is a great question. This is a great question. What do you think about Jackie Bradley Jr. joining the team? I think that his OPS with the Long Island Ducks was 1,204. So there's a reason why David Stearns picked him up. And I think if he can add something to the New York Mets, if he can add maybe some offensive, ability, then why not? Why not? I'll take it. Mauricio Alvarez Vientos are our future. Nice foundation to have. Yes, I love it. I really love what we have right now. And Acuna. You can't forget Acuna either. Maybe they'll trade Beatty for some pitching. Yeah, you know, Brett Beatty, he's still young. Brett Beatty's still young, but right now his trade value is not up there right now. It's not. It's like down here. We barely could get anything good for Brett Beatty right now. But I love the foundation of having next year Alvarez, Mauricio, Acuna, maybe in the outfield, and Mauricio at second base. We can't forget Drew Gilbert either. You can't forget Drew Gilbert either. Drew Gilbert is going to be a big part of this team, in 2025. Hopefully, I know that he's been injured most of the season and he's missed a lot of time. And now he's getting up to speed now. He's in the minors right now, but it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I love the foundation that the Mets, David Stearns, Steve Cohen, that they're creating, because I truly love it. I truly love it. I can't wait for my boy Ronnie Mauricio to be up next year. And Acuna has been impressive. Acuna, I know that he's struggled, a little bit in the season as well in AAA, but he's picked it up. He's picked it up. This guy Acuna, he's not going to be a power hitter, and nobody expects him to hit 20, 25 home runs. But if he can be a 300 hitter, and if he can be a gap-to-gap hitter, then I'll take it. If he can be a really good hitter for the Mets, I'll take that. I'll take that any day. And he's a good fielder. He has a really good arm, too. Yuki said, I would trade the squirrel for starting pitching. Give me Eric Fed or Chris Bassett. Yeah, with Eric Fed, I think he's a good pitcher, and he's definitely going to be possibly traded by the White Sox. So, but I don't feel that the Mets are going to make a major trade when it comes to, this season. I really don't see them making a major crazy trade. Like, a big trade, like they had in 2015 with the Cespedes trade and Michael Fulmer. I don't think that's going to happen this year. Randy, you keeping Pete Alonso? It's a tough situation because Pete Alonso is a very respectable person. I like what he does for the charities. I like that, what he does for, like I said, charities, what he does. He's a good person. There's nothing really bad to like about his personality. He's a little goofy at times, but I think that, his ability, physically, that is something that is a concern for me. I don't trust this guy to be the first baseman for the next 10 years or the next 7 years. I don't trust this guy. He can't even throw to second base. He's not good defensively. He's not. He's just not. And his power, he has 19 home runs this season right now. He's tied with Francisco Lindor for the home run lead. That's not good. Judge has 35 home runs right now. Pete Alonso has 19. Where has the power? What happened to Pete Alonso's power? And he strikes out a lot. He's not clutch. But am I keeping Pete Alonso for this season? If the Mets, I don't feel that the Mets are going to trade him, because if they want to go on a run, if they want to stay in contention, I don't think that they're going to trade Pete Alonso. But me personally, am I giving him a 8-year contract, a 6-year contract next year? No, I'm not. I'm not confident in Pete Alonso. I'm just not. Scott doesn't have to pitch to neutralize lefties like Budo, who throws a changeup. Lefties were hitting over 300. Yeah, it's, with Christian Scott, he doesn't have that, that out pitch. He doesn't know where his slider is going. He has a lot of inconsistencies with his breaking pitches. And you can't trust that. You just can't. You can't trust that right now. And it sucks for the kid that he's going to be injured. And I hope that he doesn't have to have like a big surgery that ends his season. But there's a lot to be worked on with Christian Scott. I love his demeanor. I love what he brings to the table. His breaking pitches are just, they're not elite. They're not. And Jose Budo is just he's major league ready. He's proved it. Jose Budo is a good pitcher. He is. Yeah, no, I think personally, that the Mets are going to have to make a lot of hard decisions coming up. But no, I'm not giving Pete Alonso a big contract. I'm just not. He hasn't earned it. Pete Alonso hasn't earned it. 19 home runs. It's July 23rd. He's hit 19 home runs. Pete Alonso, a guy that can hit you over 45 home runs, 40 home runs. He hasn't even been streaky this season. He hasn't even been good. I'm just not seeing future-wise Pete Alonso on this team. I'm just not. It sucks to say because he's breaking so many Mets records, and if he stays a Met, he's going to break all the Mets records. But I'm just not confident in Pete Alonso going forward. I'm not. I'm just not. He's not clutch. He's not really that good. He's not. He's just not. He's just not. So Yuki is saying I'm terrified that the Mets are gonna basically um trade everybody, the whole team by the deadline. They sold only being 5 games under 500 last year. I personally feel with this team that David Stearns is looking at this team. He's gonna make a big decision. I think that he's gonna buy, but he's not gonna buy high. He's not gonna trade any big prospects. I don't see him making a major crazy move. I don't see that. I really don't. I don't see him making a move that's going to change the franchise. Not this year. Not this year. But yeah, guys, we are getting to game time, guys. So we are about to, we're going to 7 o'clock. So we got 2 more minutes on stream, guys. I feel personally that this team has a lot of potential, and let me just show you guys the lineups again, just in case you forgot them. Those are the lineups for tonight. This is a huge game. The Mets might come out flat because they did only get to New York City at 5:15 a.m. last night, today, but we will see. Is Beatty gonna be gone? Are the Mets gonna make a trade? Are they gonna get a reliever? Are they gonna get bullpen help? Are they gonna get a starter? Are they gonna get an outfielder? There's a lot of decisions that have to be made. A lot of decisions, and whatever happens, happens. David Stearns should trade for Mason Miller and Luis Robert. That is not happening anytime soon. Oh my God, that would destroy that. We would have to trade almost every single prospect for that deal. Mason Miller is one of the best closers in the game. That guy is sensational. He's been so great this season. Oh my God, his stuff is amazing. Luis Robert is an outfielder. He has control, and it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a whole lot. I don't think that the Mets are going to trade for Eric Fed. I don't think that the Mets are going to trade for Garrett Crochet or a guy like, Luis Robert, a guy, that's not going to happen this season. I just don't feel personally that's going to happen. But yeah, man, that is going to be the stream. If you enjoyed, definitely leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will be back here tomorrow to do another stream for Game 2, guys. So stay tuned. I love you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for watching the stream. Definitely tomorrow, same time, 6 o'clock p.m. Same time. We are going to be streaming, guys. So let's have some fun. Let's talk some baseball. Tomorrow, we're definitely going to get into what happened, so we'll see. We'll see at the end of the day what happens. I want this team to win games. Are the Mets going to come out flat? I don't know. Are the Mets going to win the game? We will see. Let's go Mets, baby. Let's go Mets. Love you guys so much. Have a good one, guys. Stay blessed. LFGM for life. You know the vibes.